Everyone seems to be more divided today than they've ever been. It seems like nobody is able to agree on anything. But I think if we actually sat down and had these conversations in a civil manner, looking to listen and learn rather than compete for who's right and who's a scumbag, we'd come to realize that we have a lot more in common than we think. So today I want to discuss the truth about conservatives and why they believe the things that they believe. Now just a disclaimer before I get into this. The people I'm talking about aren't Klansmen or people who say things like, I'm not racist, but I'm just talking about your average everyday conservative. Conservative pro-lifers don't hate women and think they shouldn't have rights to their own body. They just believe that the life inside that woman is also a human being, worthy of the same equal rights as the rest of us. Most conservatives aren't against birth control being available to women either, like many would assume. They just feel like it should be the individual's responsibility to pay for it themselves, rather than businesses or taxpayers. Conservatives against socialized healthcare don't hate the poor, they just think it provides a lower quality of care and will prevent people with serious injuries from getting treatment in time. Same goes for conservatives against welfare. It's not that they don't want people in poverty to succeed, it's that they feel like the system provides incentive for people to avoid looking for work and hurting them in the long run, by making them complacent with a lower standard of living and persuading them to keep Democrats in power who they might otherwise disagree with. Conservatives who support strong borders don't hate immigrants, they just think they should come here legally, so that they can be documented, pay their taxes, and not be exploited for their work. Conservatives who are pro-Second Amendment aren't apathetic to mass shootings, they just think the best way to stop mass shootings is to have a good guy with a gun in the crowd, especially considering most of these shootings happen in gun-free zones, where the shooter knows people won't be armed. They also believe it serves as an equalizer for women and other victims of violence, by providing them with the chance to properly defend themselves against someone stronger than them. Many of them also don't support stricter gun regulations, because much of the regulation liberals are asking for already exists, but just isn't being properly enforced. Conservatives against Black Lives Matter aren't racist, they just don't like the tribal mentality being pushed by the left. They don't understand why liberals are fixated on discussions about race, because they already see black people as equals. So in their eyes, when liberals constantly point out people's race as a factor, you're the one who looks racist. Similarly, conservatives who don't believe in white privilege aren't trying to abuse some sort of power, they just feel like their problems are being disregarded as not important, and the people are assuming their life is easy just because of something out of their control, like their race. Conservatives who don't identify as feminists don't think men and women shouldn't be equal. It's because a lot of the rhetoric they hear is from the loudest minority who are spewing misandry, rather than simply empowering women. And likewise, most men's rights activists aren't just angry misogynists, they simply want to talk about issues regarding child custody cases, the draft, and disproportionate prison sentences that are often being ignored. Conservatives who support Trump's travel ban and oppose bringing in refugees don't hate foreigners, they just feel it puts our national security at risk, and that the needs of our citizens should be met before we start giving aid to people from other countries. And finally, conservatives who didn't take issue with the bakery scandal don't hate gay people, they just think it's wrong to force an owner of their own business to make a product that directly conflicts with their religious beliefs. Similar to how I would assume, most liberals wouldn't expect a Muslim butcher to sell them pork. Now, whether conservatives are right or wrong on these issues isn't the point of this video. The point is to demonstrate that we need to stop painting our opposition with such a broad brush and write them all off as racist and sexist and homophobes before we even sit down and have a discussion about it. Now, I'm not saying that if we do, you're going to agree with them on everything, but I think you'll come to realize in most cases, we both want the same end goal. It's just a matter of how we get there that we see differently.